and you're fearful for zina and you're choosing not to get married, then you are sinning. You have to get married. And in some situations, it's not allowed and permissible for you to get married. And some situation it's recommended for you to get married. And some situation is disliked for you to get married. Then the issue of marriage in Islam is not the same as what the West look at it. And that when you look at the Prophet ﷺ's life, there is so much to unpack. And in some situations, it's not allowed and permissible for you to get married. And some situation is recommended for you to get married. And some situation is disliked for you to get married. And in some situations, it's mubah. If you want to go for it, and if you don't want to go for it, it's up to you. It goes through those five of those. But one thing in Islam, my brothers and sisters, is that is restricted for the brothers is that they can only go up to 4 spouses. They cannot go beyond that. That's a consensus amongst the scholars. The highest that a man can go to is 4. Beyond that, there's no view that's accepted or ijma'ul ummah. The consensus of the ummah is that the man can only get married to 4 wives. But the scholars then said, okay, what about marrying those 4? Is it a recommended act? Is it something that the person is allowed to do it? Is it permissible or is it recommended? Which of those 2 categories does it fall under? Without looking at any external factors, any other external factors, we're purely looking at marrying multiple wives in and within itself. So detach it from any external factors. External factors could be, for example, if the man is married to a woman, he is fearful still for himself zina, he knows he can be fair and just, he has the ability and the physical means, and he's struggling to protect himself from zina, and he's got the ability and the physical and all of that, he has everything. In that situation, he has to get married. It's wajib for him to get married again, okay, even if he's married to a wife. This is an external factor that's impacting it. Like if we look at marrying multiple wives in and within itself, the ulama are divided into 2. Is it mubah or is it mustahab? There's a khilaf. Shafi'iyah and the Hanabila, they believe it's permissible. Okay? They believe it's what? Shafi'iyah actually, even the Hanabila, na'am. They go as far as to even say that it's maybe better to marry 1 wife. Shafi'iyah believe it's better to be married to 1, and so does the Hanabila as well. They say yustahabbu. It is recommended for the man to be married to 1 and not marry more than 1. And the evidence for that is قوله تعالى وَلَن تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَن تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ فَلَا تَمِيلُوا كُلَّ الْمَيْلِ فَتَذَرُوهَا كَالْمُعَلَّقَةِ. That you will never be able to be fair to your wives. So they're saying that if you marry more than 1 wife, you're going to fall into oppression, and oppression is not permissible. So which one is better? That which takes you away from oppression, which is being married to 1 wife. The other 2 madhabs are the Hanafiya and the Malikiyya. The Hanafiya and the Malikiyya believe it's better to marry more than 1 wife. So today sisters are going to become Shafi'i and the Hanabila, and the brothers are going to be Hanafis and Malikiyya. The Prophet, so they said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whose argument is this? The Hanafiyya and the Malikiyya. Their argument is the Prophet married more than 1 wife, and the Prophet would only do what is the best sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They also said the Prophet's statement, تَزَوَّجُوا الْوَلُودَ الْوَدُودَ, marry the woman that can have, a woman that makes her husband love her and also wants to have a lot of children. They said that the chances of increasing children is higher when you marry multiple wives. So what the Prophet wanted, which is the ummah to become large in number by marrying multiple wives, that can be achieved. So they brought that argument to the table. They also said that the ayah, if you look at when Allah speaks about marrying multiple wives, they said فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ. So Allah started with 2, and then He said 3, and then He said 4, and then He put the guys who are married to only 1 wife at the end, and mentioned that they are scared. فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا. Oh, those of you who are scared. So they said, look at the sequence of the verse. The men who marry 2 have been put first, and then 3, and then 4, and then the one who's terrified and scared, you are at the end. That's what their argument was, and all of that is the evidence and the proofs that they brought to the table. Also, their argument was, if you look at the great Imams of Al-Islam, for example, the 10 men that were promised Jannah, all of them were married to multiple wives from the 10 that were promised Jannah. And they said that if you look at the greatest people who in Islam, that none of you find them that they were married to multiple wives. So these are the arguments that they brought, and my heart is more inclined to the qawl of the Shafi'iyah and the qawl of the Hanabila. But again, it's a matter of khilaf and difference of opinion. In Islam, there is the choosing of a wife, a spouse. A lot of you guys are not married, as I can see from your ages. Those of you who are not married, who want to make that choice of getting married, there is 2 things you need to observe. Okay? First of all is matters related to the religion, and then there is the second, which is matters related to your own desires, what you like, your personal choices and preference. And Islam caters for both. Meaning, when you marry a woman, the first criteria that you look at her for, and by the way, this also applies to the sisters as well. Okay, I'm only saying to you guys because you're the ones that sit in front of me. But whatever I say to the brothers, I'm also saying it to the sisters as well. The brothers who want to marry a sister who has number one, religion, and also has mannerism. That's why the Prophet, he said in the hadith, which the scholars dispute its authenticity, إِذَا جَاءَكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ. If it comes to you, or if there's a person who comes to you who's got religion and also has mannerism, then accept them. And if you don't do, there's going to be great calamities and harm on this earth. إِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا تَكُنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ فِتْنَةٌ وَفَسَادٌ عَرِيضٌ. It says there's going to be a great harm on this earth, mischief. So that's the first thing that you need to look at. Number one, religion and mannerism. But the second thing that you need to also look at, my brothers and sisters, is issues related to the nafs. Issues related to the nafs. Meaning you like certain things about a sister. And if you look at the evidences in the Qur'an and the Sunnah, you're also encouraged to look at that as well. So some people think, I just have to look at her religion and that's it. Because of the hadith, تُنْكَحُ الْمَرْأَةِ, a woman is married for one of four reasons: لمالها ولجمالها ولحسبها ولدينها فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك. Marry the woman who has religion. So you marry a woman for four things: her beauty, her wealth, her lineage, and her religion. And the Prophet said, go for the one, prioritize the one that has what? Religion. So some people, they think, yeah, that's it, man. I only have to look at religion and her mannerism, and everything else I just have to be patient with it. No, that's not true. Jabir ibn Abdullah, he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, Ya Rasulullah. The Prophet said to him, تزوجت, did you get married? قال نعم, he said, I did. Then the Prophet said, بكرا أم ثيبا, did you marry a virgin or a non-virgin? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, I have married a non-virgin, a woman who's... Then the Prophet said to him, هلا تزوجت بكرا, why did you not get married to a virgin? تلاعبك وتلاعبها, that she plays around with you and you play with her. ولذلك the four imams or the four madahibs, Hanafiya, Malikiya, Shafi'iyya, and the Hanabila, all of them, they all believe that the virgin is better than the woman who's not a virgin.